Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Axon started out of a passion for keeping agriculture moving. Imagine having 100 years of tire and wheel knowledge in your back pocket the next time you sell a piece of ag equipment. To find more or become an Axon dealer, please visit axontire.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. No matter how you buy your ag equipment, whether it's from a dealer, an auction, or a private party, AgDirect can help you finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com. Learn more about your financing options at agdirect.com. TractorZoom has access to over $20 billion in heavy equipment sales data. TractorZoom's Iron Comps is the industry's trusted solution for transparent equipment values and auctionable pricing insights. This podcast is brought to you by Anvil AppWorks. The Dealer Connect CRMI app with integrated inventory management is an affordable Salesforce-based solution for your dealership. Create connected customer experience and transform how you work.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 285. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Valley Transportation. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. So I do have Parker in the room. I got Nick in the room. I got Brad in the room. So how you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. The guys are out here for the Moving Iron Summit, and they've been a sponsor of the Moving Iron Summit and Moving Iron Podcast for a long time, so I appreciate all that you guys do for me and this show and the guys out there that are at the show. So thanks a lot for what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Casey. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So you guys spoke this morning. You brought up a lot. There were a lot of good questions that came out of the crowd about a lot of different stuff. And so Brad, just looking at the overall state of the union when it comes to over-the-road transportation, what are some of the stuff you're seeing now, and are things getting better or worse from where you were maybe this time last year?
Well, we went through a period earlier this year with the fuel prices going up so fast, and we couldn't keep ahead of it in managing those costs. But now that fuel prices at least leveled off, it hasn't come down like the gas prices, but it actually leveled off, so we can manage it a little better. When it was going up so fast, we just couldn't stay ahead of it. So
yeah,
so that part of it, it caused a lot of people to exit the business. I think there was like 13 people. I talked to my insurance carrier the other day, and they had 13 customers left him in just that week that just closed their doors and shut down. So smaller fleets, nothing of big numbers, but those little guys are the ones we kind of rely on a day-to-day basis too. So
yeah,
it's been a difficult first half of the year for the trucking industry.
Right.
So. But I think it's coming around now, and hopefully we can get back to the profit side. So.
Right. So in farming or something like that, if a guy retires, somebody else comes along and picks up their ground they're farming or whatever, buys it or whatever they're doing. What happens in like the scenario there we threw at that? Is that opportunities for you to go find some drivers or those fleets and those kind of things? Like what happens with that labor?
A lot of those guys are probably retired. Some of them are retirements.
Gotcha.
Guys just exiting, getting off the road type deals. We have gained some drivers out of situations like that too. People that are freed up because their companies closed the doors. So. We do gain some, but there's a lot of people exiting this market. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Parker, as you're looking at the freight booking side of stuff, what's your feel there? I mean, are you seeing some kind of opportunity to get caught up in some of this stuff, or is it just still a pretty good weight out there?
Yeah, we got the past month or so, it slowed down, a little bit, and we got a lot of stuff covered and caught back up, which is good. Nobody likes to be behind.
Right.
And but every summer it seems like August a little bit slower.
Yep.
And it'll come right back again, and we'll be busy and struggling again probably.
Yeah. That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
By the time you get caught up, you get busy again. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Nick, what are you seeing out there right now?
Just to follow up on what Parker said, the load board has increased about 100 loads in the last month.
Okay.
So it is starting to pick up, but nowhere near what it was.
Right.
They talked, Casey, about how slow it's been in August, and they didn't think anything was going on, and they had one of the biggest months they've ever had. So,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is just because they weren't bombarded. They didn't have so much extra freight that they were trying to deal with and get scheduled.
Yep.
But there was still a lot of freight there, and we had a really good month in August.
Yep.
And me and Nick have talked about that too, like, not to say that we didn't feel like we did anything last month, which we obviously did, but I don't know if everything just flowed so good, like there wasn't nearly the issues, but the load count that we billed out and the total dollar amount was the best of the year. Well, the best ever.
Best ever.
Yep. Yeah, they have a and that's funny that you say that. So there's a lot of articles I read. I get some different, think tank research center type stuff where they send out various things having to do with transportation and they do, heavy equipment stuff like that too. And you look at the transportation numbers and everything you read shows that, freight is diminishing now. Obviously it's not on the heavy side, right? You guys are doing good there. You do have a van side. What are you seeing over there? Are you seeing a slowdown in the amount of loads going out? Is that because there's nothing to haul, or is that because it's just trying to find scheduling trucks to move stuff?
I think things just slowed down in general. Things got too expensive, and people quit buying, and things started slowing down. So that van side was really good. I mean, the best anybody's ever seen it, and it's backed off a lot. The rates have come back down to more
What they used to be.
Standard pricing. So, but it's still been good though. I think. They're still keeping them busy, and things are out there. So.
Yep. As you look across the landscape now, the diesel price has come down dramatically from what it was, but it's still $4 and $5 a gallon. I don't know if anyone's still paying $6 a gallon for it, but there's still some very expensive inputs on your guys' side. Yeah. As you look out and talk with folks that you're contracting with and those kind of things, are you seeing are they giving you any kind of a hint that 23 might be a little better diesel price than what we're seeing now?
I don't know if anybody knows that answer. Gas has come down a lot.
Yeah.
Diesel, I think national average diesel prices only dropped back 40 cents tops.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even came that far really. So it's got a long ways to go to get back to where you can think you're getting it for a decent buy.
Yeah.
But with our fuel surcharge and stuff, as long as it's not making those big 80-cent a week jumps,
right?
That's what really catches us. So,
yeah.
And the overall cost of everything. Freight prices are going to get higher. Right. We talk about these equipment prices and driver wages. And insurance is just astronomical. I've spent more time this year working on insurance than I ever have in my life.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So there's just other options out there and things you need to look at to try to get to. So
on the insurance side, what is it that's driving that ball?
It's these nuclear verdicts. I don't know if you've heard of them, but the accidents with big payout numbers, the $40 million, settlements and things like that. These insurance companies are taking a bath. So it's they got to get that under control. Where they're coming up with $40 million and $100 million settlements is just. I guess I don't see where we should be doing that. But.
Right.
And then just the cost of the equipment too is, the truck and trailer's higher. My car insurance went up this year for the first time ever. And I asked why. That was the reason. Well, the value of your vehicle's more.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's not. Not mine.
Yeah. You touched it a little bit on your during you guys' talk a little bit, but talk a little bit about what you see happening with just getting freight insurance, like the insurance between stops and what you're seeing there. I mean, you're talking about hauling around $1 million machines and those kind of things. Talk about that a little bit and kind of the importance of that.
Yeah. I think you're talking about the cargo insurance.
Yeah, cargo insurance. Yeah.
The thing we're seeing is everything's getting more valuable. We saw some of that stuff Sullivan's was showing up.
Yeah.
Those numbers are crazy. So.
And that's used equipment.
Yeah.
That's not new. Yeah.
So, everything's getting more valuable, and we run with $1 million cargo policy. We're probably one of the few that got that size cargo policies. There's a lot of $500,000 ones. There's a lot of $200,000 ones. So, what we don't want to have anybody do is be hauling $1 million piece around on $100,000 or $200,000 cargo policy,
right?
And have a problem. So
yeah,
and we try not to have it happen, but it happens. So you have that day where a driver, something goes wrong and they total out a load in the truck, and
right.
Hopefully nobody else. So it's part of the business, and we're out there. We put I think we put 16 million miles on last year, 16 or 18 million. So there's bound to be some issues. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we want your stuff to be covered, and sure don't want anything to happen to it, but it does occasionally. So
yeah, there's a fair amount of, 16 million miles. Something you're gonna do something. Something's gonna happen somewhere.
Something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, that's a few miles.
Yeah.
I guess from a load board perspective, what's the one thing you guys would tell anybody, and either one of you go first. What would be the one thing you would tell guys right now as far as booking equipment? Like, what's the thing you're paying attention to the most?
Just where it's coming from and going to, and like I said, we've gotten caught up. When we were busy, we were telling guys it could be a month. And they dealt with it because there was no other options out there.
Right.
But now, we're in that 1 to 2 week window, and a lot of times it's sooner. We can make it happen either with our trucks or our brokerage department. Otherwise, business is good, and keep moving, keep selling and buying equipment. We'll get it covered for you.
Right on.
Yeah, I would say our lead time is a week.
Yeah.
We're caught up. So
Yeah. Good.
we could use more.
Just be prepared for price changes in the middle.
Yeah.
If we quote you something and fuel goes up $1 next week, we'll probably be calling back to adjust that quote.
Right.
So it's just
So hop on the bandwagon right away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When you're looking at some of the stuff, what are some of the stuff you're paying attention to right now, Brad, as you look out closing out 22 and going into 23? What are some of the we've talked about on here the rumors about DEF and those kind of things, but is there anything really looming that you're paying attention to that you think was going to impact the trucking industry?
In our world, we're watching these truck prices, equipment prices, and the interest rates. The feds are talking. This interest rate's going to go up. So,
Yep.
That we got a lot of assets on the ground, so that affects us a lot when we see that stuff going on. So, truck prices are up. New truck prices are probably $50,000 higher than we're accustomed to paying.
Right.
So that's going to be you start buying 40 or 50 of them, that number gets big.
Oh yeah.
And there's no discounts anymore.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. They've done away discounts and that's the one thing too. And I who knows what'll happen, but typically when something goes away, it doesn't typically come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least screaming back anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with those discounts, but that's a weird thing. So on the used side, used truck side, I know that's been tight, just like everything else has been. Have you seen any give there at all, to where you can see some light at the end of the tunnel on the used side stuff?
Not really. I think that market's going to be really strong. It's just because nobody can get the new, and you know, there's a lot of older equipment out there that's got to be replaced, and
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, we went through a couple of years here where they didn't get a lot of stuff. So
Right.
It's just like on your equipment side, you know, things are short. It's going to hold that used market up there. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because I made a conversation with the guy the other day. I was in a conversation with the guy the other day. We were talking about, you know, with the way things are right now, and when things kind of get caught back up, will we be in a place where we had the equipment to sell during the boom, and will we be able to really maximize our profit potential during that time frame, and before it goes back to a level of normalcy here? And I don't know if that we're ever going to really ever get. I don't think we're going to see like a hard line stop where things are, you know, yesterday was crazy and now it's normal. I mean, I think it's going to be a gradual easing into this, and as that gradually eases into it, you know, you're going to see some erosion of various things along the way, and you got to think that that's going to have a big effect across all spectrums of everything. Like, it's just either the economy is going to contract and shrink based around what we see happen from a recessionary standpoint, or we're going to see a bigger, just things kind of go back to normal, and know what that looks like. So it's going to be, this next couple of years are going to be I don't want to say fun run, but it's going to be an interesting run to watch.
Yeah, you kind of question what is normal.
Right,
You know,
exactly, yeah.
What's the new normal going to
Yeah,
look like?
that's exactly right, because that's
You know, Luke talked about those land prices and stuff
Yeah.
this morning. You know, that the land prices are crazy, and
Yep.
you know, you see land prices go up and down, but
Sure.
you don't really ever see them go back to 1980
No.
80 level. You know, so
No.
there's just
Yep.
there's so much money in that stuff anymore with all the 1031 exchanges going
Sure.
on and everything. So I think the land prices are going to hold. You know,
Yep.
a lot of this land isn't held by farmers. You know,
Yeah.
it's held by big
Speculators
money
and those kind of things,
speculation.
yep.
So
Yep.
I know some stuff down in Iowa. We went and looked at a tractor this summer. The guy's neighbor sold his property for $22,000 an acre, and then a different farmer neighbor auctioned his off for rent. It was $565 an acre. How do you make that work?
Man, that's crazy.
And what happens if it goes backwards really fast?
You saw the same thing happen in 12, 13, and 14, and then that retracted pretty fast. So some of these people are doing, 10 and 15 year, contracts. Like, that's a lot. I mean, I get a couple years, but man,
Right, yeah. It used to be 2-3 years everybody would contract there.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to rent your stuff for this.
Yeah.
Well, how do you make it work for 15?
yeah, because farming's not that volatile. It's pretty steady. It doesn't really change much.
yeah,
It's my joke. My dad, when I was growing up, we're in oil business, and he'd always be like, just don't go into oil business. It's just so volatile. You're rich one day and you're poor the next. And I go like, you know what, Dad, I'm going to go into farming. This thing's great. It's just the next best thing. That's always been my joke. So anyway,
Nothing goes wrong there.
nothing. It's perfectly smooth. Very just, everything's the same all the time.
yeah.
All right.
Truckin.
All right, fellas, good conversation here. Glad you guys are part of the podcast and part of the Moving Iron Summit. I really appreciate everything you're doing. So, Parker, everybody knows how to get a hold of you, because
Yep.
it's said 3 times on the podcast. So,
Give me a call.
right on. Nick, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Same number, just ask for me. Nick.
Right on. Okay. Brad?
Yep, that's bgraph@valleytransinc.com, or the same local 800 number, 800-657-4910.
Right on. Well, guys, I appreciate it, and get you out of here and get you back into your booth so you can. What are you guys giving away? It's a
Camping chair.
Camping chair?
chairs, yeah.
Right on. Just
Yeah.
check that out. All right, fellas. Well, I'm Casey Seymour with Moving Iron Podcast. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Moving Iron LLC, on LinkedIn at Moving Iron Podcast, and the cleverly named Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel. So check that out. Go to Moving Iron LLC for everything Moving Iron related. And with that, I am Casey Seymour with Brad, Nick, and Parker. I don't know why I couldn't say that. I wanted to say Peter. I'm like, that is not right. I don't know why I said that.
Spider-Man.
There you go. There you go. So let's go move some iron, folks. Axon started out of a passion for keeping agriculture moving. Imagine having 100 years of tire and wheel knowledge in your back pocket the next time you sell a piece of ag equipment. To find more or become an Axon dealer, please visit axontire.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. No matter how you buy your ag equipment, whether it's from a dealer, an auction, or a private party, AgDirect can help you finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com. Learn more about your financing options at agdirect.com. TractorZoom has access to over $20 billion in heavy equipment sales data. TractorZoom's Iron Comps is the industry's trusted solution for transparent equipment values and auctionable pricing insights. This podcast is brought to you by Anvil AppWorks. The Dealer Connect CRMI app with integrated inventory management is an affordable Salesforce-based solution for your dealership. Create connected customer experience and transform how you work.
Moving higher in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving higher, time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here.